Please subscribe my channel. The text lit up my phone like a spark in dry grass. It was from my wife, Emily. I opened it casually, expecting something ordinary, maybe a reminder about groceries or a quick love you. But instead, I froze as I read the words. At my ex's place. His dad isn't home. Don't be jealous. My chest tightened, my breath caught. She had written it so casually, as if she were telling me the weather forecast. Not a shred of guilt, not even an attempt to soften the blow. Just raw, reckless arrogance. I stared at those words again and again, the letters burning deeper each time. My mind spiraled through every memory. Our wedding vows, the nights we struggled but held on to each other. The sacrifices I had made to keep our life afloat. And now, she was sitting in the house of the man she once claimed to be done with, telling me not to be jealous. It wasn't jealousy. It was betrayal. Pure and poisonous. For a moment, I considered driving there, storming into that house, and tearing apart the illusion she thought she could maintain. But then clarity came. No screaming, no shouting, no violence would give me the justice I deserved. Words would. My words. My hands didn't tremble as I typed. I poured every ounce of pain, strength, and finality into my reply. Emily, you've just written the last message you'll ever send me as your husband. Don't worry, I'm not jealous. I'm free. When you come home, your key won't work. Pack whatever you need quickly because your chapter in my life is closed. I hit send. Minutes felt like hours before her typing bubble appeared. Then, message after message flooded in. Wait. What do you mean? You're taking this the wrong way. It's not what it looks like. Please don't do this to us. But I didn't answer. Silence was the sharpest reply. That night, I sat in the living room. The same room where Emily and I once dreamed of our future together. The irony was brutal. She had left to relive her past, but I was already cutting her out of my present. By the time Emily returned that night, her confidence had cracked. I heard her footsteps at the door, the jingle of her keys, and then the faint clatter as she tried to unlock it. Click after click, nothing. She pushed harder, twisting the key as though sheer force could undo the truth I had warned her about. Finally she knocked, her voice trembling. Adam, open the door. Please. Let's talk. I stayed seated on the couch, calm in a way I hadn't felt in years. Slowly, I walked over and pulled the door open just enough to meet her tearful eyes. She looked like a stranger. Her makeup smeared, her expression desperate, her pride stripped away. Your key doesn't work anymore, I said simply. She gasped. You actually meant it? Adam, it wasn't like that. I just went to see Daniel because he needed someone to talk to. I swear nothing happened. I raised an eyebrow. And you thought the best way to tell me that was by texting me you were at his place and his dad wasn't home? Emily, do you hear yourself? Her lips quivered as she tried to explain, but each word only dug her deeper. I wanted to feel alive again. Things between us have been routine, and Daniel reminded me of who I used to be, but I never meant to throw us away. Her confession didn't soften me, it hardened me. You reminded me of who I used to be too, I replied coldly. The man who trusted blindly. The man who believed his wife would never play with fire. But that man doesn't exist anymore. You killed him with that one message. Emily broke down, covering her face as sobs shook her shoulders. She leaned against the doorframe, whispering, Don't do this to me, Adam. Please. I still love you. I let her cry, but my heart didn't move. Love wasn't texted from another man's home. Love wasn't built on secrets and arrogance. Love, I said finally. If you loved me, you wouldn't have handed me my humiliation in a single sentence. You wouldn't have reduced our marriage to a joke. You made your choice, Emily. Now I'm making mine. The silence that followed was heavier than any argument we'd ever had. Emily's tears flowed harder, each sob echoing through the hallway. Please, Adam, she whispered. Don't shut me out like this. I can change, I can fix this. I'll block him. I'll never speak to Daniel again. Just give me one more chance. Her desperation might have once broken me, but not now. I had already broken free. I looked at her, not with anger anymore, but with clarity. Emily, second chances are for mistakes. What you did wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. You wanted excitement, and you chose it at the cost of us. Choices have consequences. Her face crumpled, her knees buckling as she sank to the floor. I don't have anywhere to go, she cried. I can't go back to him. I don't even want him. I want you. I felt a pang of pity, but it was quickly replaced by resolve. Then maybe you should have thought of that before you sent me that message. You didn't just tell me where you were. You told me what I meant to you. And now, you're standing on the other side of a door you can't open anymore. The weight of my words hit her like a stone. She stared at me, wide-eyed, as if she'd finally realized the depth of her mistake. But it was too late. The man she once thought would always forgive her was gone. I stepped back, my hand on the door. Goodbye, Emily. Her voice broke into a scream. No, Adam, please. Don't do this. But I shut the door gently, her cries muffled on the other side. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt a strange sense of peace. That night, I sat in silence, the house both emptier and fuller than it had ever been. Empty of her lies, but full of my strength. I realized I hadn't lost a wife. I had shed a burden. The next morning, I saw her suitcase by the door untouched, just as I left it. She was gone. Whether she went to Daniel, or to anyone else didn't matter. What mattered was that I finally remembered who I was. Her text had been meant to taunt me, to make me swallow my pride. Instead, it set me free. Her key had failed, not just in the lock, but in my heart forever.